So thanks everybody for joining us for the after party. We're actually just going to sit here and chat about Defcon, and you're welcome to call us on our 1-800 number and tell us all about your problems. And don't forget to buy my book.
Do we have one of those?
We can set it up real fast.
I don't know. Maybe,
I'm sure the CTF team has a couple of numbers sitting around.
The CTF stuff, that was amazing. The way that they set up they had phone numbers set up where people
that
can
whole
call
phone,
in.
Yeah, that whole phone system, and they had to do it to get clues. That was crazy.
And
Yeah, that was awesome.
when he was giving us the overview of it, that one meeting, I was just like, God damn.
Yeah, I did. I felt like, man, why did I have to be in this freaking meeting? Because I want to try. I want to try the CTF. That's amazing.
You should know that you're not going to be able to make it to the finals anyway.
No.
If Neutrino
Hey,
cannons
why
play,
are you saying that Chris could not make it?
he's not part of Neutrino Cannon.
No. You know what? I'm not really good at CTFs. I've tried. I try to do them, but man, I don't have all of the tools in place, and everybody has all these things that they run like in the background. They collect all this information, or
There's a bunch of SOC goons sitting in pool 3 voice closed. Unfortunately, I can't join there to see what they're talking about. This is sad.
Oh, we have a question in our
Yeah,
chat.
we have a question. Yeah.
Yeah, so here's a question from Dark Elf Steve _ What does it take to be in cybersecurity? Why is it so hard to get an entry-level position in cybersecurity if there are a lot of vacant jobs crying for people to get into cybersecurity? All right,
Well,
panel.
if your name is Elf, that could probably be part of it.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, dark elves have a really hard time working in cybersecurity.
Yeah, everybody's
I've never
expecting
seen
you
one.
to do magic, and if you should be able to do magic.
I don't think
Your
magic
whole
works
blood
on
oath
Ethernet.
to the spider goddess Lolith. That kind of upsets people.
That's a deep cut right there.
Yeah. All right,
don't
go
try
ahead. Omar, why don't you answer that one?
Yeah, and actually the
Which one?
answer may not be as we expect. It depends on the geographical location that you are. In some cases, that actually takes a toll on it. I know that probably this question was because probably you already have certifications, so you're trying to actually get into security, you cannot get a job, and everything else. And in some cases, I talk to a lot of people overseas, all over the world, and even if you have the certifications and everything, the positions may not be open, or probably, there may be companies that actually are just getting started in security, and they're not expanding and so on. So there's a lot of factors in that. Now, if you are brand new and you want to get into security and you don't know where to get started, then to get a job, that's a little bit different question. So if you can clarify, if it's actually something that you just want to change careers and you don't know how to just get started, then probably we can guide you in there. If it's actually something that you already have some experience and you cannot get a job nowadays, that's something that we can probably answer.
Yeah, and the other thing is to think about potentially doing an internship. There's a lot of companies, Amazon, Cisco, just about all of the Fortune 1000s have some type of internship program.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is you need to learn how to channel your inner cyber. And the best way to do that.
Another thing that you should probably do is not try to get a job at a company where their fiscal year is closing.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well,
Because all the jobs are frozen during that time. That's actually a really good comment, because people may not know that are just getting into the industry. You got to check out what the cycle of the company is to see when their end of year is, because at that time they close all the jobs. And even if my department had like 20 openings during close to the end of the year, all of those positions get frozen, and it takes months for them to open back up.
Yeah, and the year ends at a time when you're not expecting. I mean, Cisco ends like at August of all times. It's like,
Yeah,
okay.
it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But there is a little bit of a twist to this, right? Because this dark elf named Steve _ graduated with a master's degree in cybersecurity, and he also has a CEH. So I think my main question for you, Mr. Dark Elf, is what positions are you applying for? Because cybersecurity is a really big field. It's not just red teaming. It's not just blue teaming. There's a lot of pieces that kind of play into this. So if you're applying for jobs that you're not able to get, well, what is that? Like, what is it they're looking for? A lot of the times where you can really kind of outshine yourself in terms of, other people that are applying for the same thing, especially like entry level stuff, is, how involved are you in the community? And, what are some things that you do on your free time to learn these things? How do you practice that particular skill? And, are you actively engaged with the community in learning those things? Are you mentoring other people? And it really helps if you have a mentor as well to help kind of guide you into that journey that you're trying to partake. I mean, having a master's degree is fantastic.
And also, Omar, a good point you should make, because you run one of them, join a user group.
Yeah, definitely join a user group. So he's going for a cybersecurity analyst position. Interesting.
Well, that's enough for that question. Let's move on to
Someone
another
wants
one.
to be an ambassador for Red Team Villages, if that's a thing.
So
we have
ambassador to
we have internships available at the Red Team Village.
One of the things that you'll have to do is help him write chapter 2 of his latest book.
So graduating from high school this week, US based, if you could give yourself a piece of advice before you went into the InfoSec industry, what would it be?
Don't get into the InfoSec industry.
Yeah, I would say that understand that you're going to be tied to your phone for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
You want a prediction? It's going to be dark and it's going to be cold and it's never going to end. Isn't that Groundhog Day? Yeah,
Yes.
sorry.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
No, but if you want to get into it, you've got to find something that you're passionate about. You really do. If you really like programming, then you got to head that way. You got to kind of stick with it. And over your career, you're probably going to change what you like to do a bunch of times.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think any of us here have been like in one career trajectory our entire career.
No. Well,
Hey, Travis, get out of here.
I won.
I'm a weird case, yeah. I mean, I did
that's
web
cool.
development, but I wouldn't consider that a career trajectory because that was like very explicitly between college semesters, a summer job to make money on the side.
That's fair. That's fair.
You'd mentioned
Freelancing or something?
Say again?
Like freelancing or something?
No, it was actually for various companies.
Oh, okay.
I did a bunch of like weird. I had at one point 3 part-time jobs.
Wow.
And like but different days of the week, so it was like a full work week. It was
So it's
very funny in that respect.
It's like a work version of a college schedule.
It was kind of, yeah, it was weird. I would go to a small HMO one day, and then I would go into a web development place like downtown, completely opposite direction on some other days, and then some of the other days I was working remote on a horribly paid but more passion project with a couple other folks trying to commercialize a gaming group, which technically was a job because I technically was compensated, and they.
Wow.
You did get money. So let's ask Danielle what she thinks.
About graduating from high school and
No,
going into
no.
Yeah.
No, about
yeah.
channeling your inner cyber.
What does that even mean?
I try to channel my inner cyber at least once a day.
Oh, okay.
You've got to work it, otherwise you anyway.
It's like lucid dreaming.
So I don't know what the
kinda
educational
sounds
background
dirty.
of other people here is, but I only have an associate's degree, and that can give me a lot of imposter syndrome sometimes. But to your point about finding a mentor, I think no matter what your educational level, no matter what your certifications are, finding someone who can recognize your strengths and can guide you to resources and opportunities that you may not have the experience to see is a very valuable piece of advice.
Well said. I mean, don't at all get into having imposter syndrome, having associates, because I don't even have a degree at all.
Yeah.
I'm one of the weird people that is mostly self-taught. Now, I did join the military. I was in the military for about 9 years, and I was very fortunate to be in the kind of position where I got to, to work on electronics and work on, I actually joined in the Air Force. I was crypto at the time. And it just so happened that one of our pieces of terminal equipment that we had was a router, quite a lot. We had these classified networks, and they were, I really got interested in routing and switching at that time, and just got into it, and I was so passionate about it, just latched on, and just didn't look back since. And it's really interesting too, because when I submitted my resume to the company I work at now, they didn't call me for, I think it was like 3 years. My resume was floating around in their system, and all of a sudden I got a call out of the blue, and it's like, hey, you want to come work for us? And I was like, yeah, I would do, because I really wanted to get into security. I really wanted to move laterally. I wanted to take some of the skills that I had at the time and be able to apply them, and it's just been wonderful. And so
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, don't ever think that just because you don't have the degree, if you have the passion. I work with people that have like literary degrees. They're or we had some guy that was on the red team village earlier, said he was a philosophy degree or something. I was like, yeah,
that's awesome.
I think
I remember that.
It's just a matter of gosh, we have such a great community, and just don't give up.
So what would Voltaire say about this 0 day?
It brings such fresh perspectives. People who aren't all from the same educational background, different ways of thinking, different ways of approaching problems.
Yeah, somebody asked about being too old.
Yeah,
and I just point them.
He's 30.
Yeah, I just point them to Omar, Panda Omar, and I'm like, look how old this dude is, man. He's ancient.
Yeah, like I've been around the block.
He's 90 years old, and he does, and he's still doing stuff in cyber.
That's how much I've told you, and that was 5 years ago.
So now you're like 130.
Yeah, something like that. I'm just an immortal. But I'm a slow
looks like
learner.
You're talking into the panda's hand now.
I am. Well, let me position this a little bit better. There we go. So you can see the mic. Oh, pop back in. That's pretty cool. But yeah, and also, go ahead.
I'm gonna start into probably a rant if we go down this path, but I do think it's important to point out that there's a lot of cases where there's some artificially closed doors, or it seems like there's some artificially closed door because it's like, oh, well, I'm too old, or, oh, I don't have a bachelor's degree, and they're specifically asking for people with bachelor's degrees. And
yeah,
my personal favorite is the job postings where it's like, yeah, you need to have like 8 years of experience in Kubernetes. I'm like,
Kubernetes.
That's great. Yeah,
that's great.
Sorry,
yeah.
Let me just grab my time machine real quick and get that for you.
Yeah, 10 years experience.
Do it twice
in the Swift language and iPhone development and
developing for iOS. What is it? What are we at? 13, 17? I have no idea.
There was a really great tweet from the guy that created Fast API, and he got turned down from a job that was looking for, I think, like 10 years of experience in Fast API, and that particular library had only been around for 3 years, and he was the one who developed it, and he didn't get the job because he didn't have the experience. It's like, how much? It's like, I built the damn thing, and you're saying no, I'm not experienced enough to work in this.
That's hilarious.
I think a lot of this stuff also has to do with the recruiters, man. They just don't know their head from the hole in the ground. One of the things I would also recommend.
Is that my head, or is that a hole in the ground? I can't tell.
One of the things I would recommend to anybody too is that if you can, find out who the hiring manager is. Don't work for a recruiter. They're just they're so useless.
I saw a job posting that was like some kind of like really fancy development job. From the sound of it, scroll down a little bit, $80 a day.
I mean, that's really good.
You're developing a hole in the ground for a septic system.
With a shovel.
With the shovel, yeah. You cannot automate the shovel.
So during closing, we forgot to invite Lauren. That was my fault. So what do you think, Lauren, about all this?
About what?
About if you're too old to get into cybersecurity.
Or about being forgotten.
I'm forgotten every time.
Not as much as Samantha is.
Oh my God, yes. I don't know how many times Omar has called her Samantha. I'm like, it's Savannah, it's Savannah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there is a too old, especially nowadays. It's mainly about attitude. If you show the willingness to learn if you're in an interview and they ask you, do you like continued education? Don't say no. If this is your passion, if you like learning, then you need to promote that. I mean, CDocs and I have done a lot of interviews, and it's brutal how honest people are. I mean, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing, but it's like, if you're trying to get a job, don't say, I don't like working with other people. I mean, especially if you're applying for a job where you have to collaborate.
Yeah, where you have to work with other people.
I don't like people.
And a lot of cybersecurity is collaborating. I mean, look at all of us here. We're part of a red team village. We all collaborate. Like we said, we all have different skill sets. I mean, someone was a philosophy major. I was a psychology major. So we all bring different things to the table. So I don't think there's a age limit on restarting your life. I mean, it's your life. You can restart as many times as you want to, as long as you're willing to do the work.
Yeah, I think just people second guessing themselves on age. I think that is just a symptom of an imposter syndrome. Like, they don't feel like they would belong into it because of a blocker. It's their age, it's their skill level, it's the amount of experience they have. It's all the same thing. It's all imposter syndrome.
Right. And if you keep telling yourself that, that's what's going to be true.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to start like pumping yourself up before like those interviews, or before like going to a DC group meeting or whatever it is. You say, I belong here. These are my people. I'm going to learn from everybody at least one thing. I mean, even if you like learn something easy, like how to be more personable, how to talk to different types of people, you're still learning something. I mean, that's the main point here. Like, we're all trying to be a community.
Yes.
Yeah, we're all trying to build each other up.
Yeah, don't get frustrated because it's overwhelming, right? Technology actually is gonna move faster than you. You're in a bicycle, and technology is in a jet, right? So it's gonna pass by you, and in some cases, actually, you get frustrated because of that. Am I too old, or am I too slow? You're always gonna be slow. Technology is gonna outgrow you. What you have to do is pick your battles, right? Concentrate in some areas that you think that you enjoy. Not because something is super hot out there and you think that you're gonna get a job that is gonna pay you well. I mean, that's part of it. But pick something that you really enjoy and you're passionate about it, and then it doesn't become a job, right? And then that's how you excel. Yeah. There are a lot of comments in there.
Yeah, I'm so fortunate that every day that I go to a job loving what I do. And I always feel, one of the things also too is there's a little bit of a social aspect to this too, that when you're really making things secure and you're helping things get locked down, you really do feel like you're making a difference in the world. I mean, we all are. If we're in a hospital or something like that and we see a piece of equipment, maybe you were the person that did the red team on that, or you know, are doing a pen test on something, maybe there's a piece of equipment. You always feel good knowing that I made that just a little bit better and possibly could save lives.
Yeah, and that's part of what the Red Team Village does. I mean, our focus really was on what can we do that we can run a lot of people through and teach them one skill. And so we came up with the stations last year, and really it was targeted at what can we teach somebody in 30 minutes that they can walk away with and have enough knowledge to go back to their home and continue working on that. And we tried to expose them to a lot of different things, like exploit development. Travis ran that.
Sorry, could not make that 30 minutes. I tried as hard as I could.
That's all right, man. At least it was a multiple of it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, exploit development is a little bit more difficult, but last year you were able to do 30, 40 minutes or more or less.
We were getting people rotated on that table, 30, 40 minutes.
But you had some heavy hand holding, you know, because it was just so in depth. I mean,
I lost my entire conference.
It's not an easy topic.
No,
it isn't. It's not really even an intro, right, topic, but Travis managed to take something as complicated as exploit development and turn it into an intro thing. So, and that's super hard. People don't understand. It's super easy to develop courses for advanced things, but to teach somebody that has never been exposed to something, it takes a little bit of extra effort.
Yeah, it really
not
does.
little extra, but a lot more expertise.
If you're just trying to bridge the gap with their frame of reference.
Yeah, if you can get through those, you should feel really good about yourself. You really made an accomplishment because And it doesn't get a whole lot harder than that, really. I mean, it's just all about the context of what it is you're working on. I mean, if you got that kind of information, that you've got the skills that you can really feel good that you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. Well. Yeah, a panel I was on with a bunch of blue teamers. We're talking about, and this is true. Red teams on corporations don't get a lot of money to buy platforms. They're expected to develop everything that they're going to use, or use a bunch of open source stuff. Where blue teams are sent to training, they're given a lot of tools, probably way more tools than they need. And that's what I talked about, was there's just so much noise from all the tools that they have. It makes it hard for a blue teamer to stay on top of things. But in the red team platform, they said that a lot of red teamers get sent to training, and I hadn't experienced that when I was doing red teaming as a permanent job. So it was always learn on the job and do for yourself. The OSCP saying, or the offensive security saying, is the one that I live by. Try harder.
Mm-hmm. If you didn't get it right, or you didn't get it the first time, keep going, keep trying.
Yep.
Absolutely. So there was another comment in here somewhere about not being welcomed into user groups, like local user groups, or that there's some toxicity within some community groups. And I think the best advice I can give someone in terms of they're not fitting into a particular group, just start your own.
Or it's like Omar did.
Yeah. And
find one. Yeah. I mean,
or find something else. Like the internet is both a great equalizer and a great separator. You can find people who are dealing with the same thing and trying to learn the same things that you are, and you can join up with them, and you can get the support, and you can also support other people at the same time. It's a lot of give and take in those types of communities. And also you don't have to join like a DC group, a Defcon group. You can actually, and you don't have to join a cybersecurity group. If your passion's programming, then join a programming group. Go on meetup.com. There's a ton of different groups out there. You should be able to find a group in your area, and most groups take anybody, any age, from anywhere. So
there's B-sides. There's how many other kind of groups there are. I mean, and plus another thing is, there's always going to be that one person that's boastful, or I'm not going to say don't be, don't grow too much of a skin, but there's always going to be that one person, especially, I don't know why, but occasionally in this position, in this field, you'll have, somebody who is just, almost like a gatekeeper, and just don't worry about it. Just keep going, keep at it, and
ignore those. Yeah. Ignore the gatekeepers and try to make friends with the people that are open and welcome to new people.
Yeah, we got some really supportive people in our chat right now.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It only takes one person to accept you in a group, and then everybody else starts opening up. I mean, find one person that you can relate to, and everybody else will be more receptive. Also, it never hurts to kill people with kindness. Then people start noticing it's not you, it's the person that you're having difficulties with. And then hopefully they start to change. And if not, you're not the one that looks bad, so still okay.
I thought Lauren was going to say, it's okay to kill people.
All right.
Sometimes we can't officially condone killing people.
No. Then she comes out like, oh, I'm sorry, my audio cut out. What was the last thing I said?
My code of ethics won't allow that. Sorry.
It was kindness. Kindness.
Oh, with kindness.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So put the knife away.
I need some heart emojis coming up.
Yeah. Can we get a round of hearts in the chat, please? Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anybody want to talk about some Defcon stuff?
What is Defcon? I've never heard of it.
No.
Well,
so they just had closing ceremonies.
Yeah, I was about to ask, can anybody who does not have a Red Team Village badge flag or something on Defcon's Discord check for me? Because the way it's displaying for me, the only village left alive is the red team village.
I think you can only see your own village.
Yeah, I think so.
You can only
Is-
see
Yeah.
Is it because I think what happened is you probably opened all the channels and it crashed their bot or something.
No, I don't think so.
No,
No,
it's,
there's still a lot of
live,
stuff.
and it killed everything else. And I was actively like in other channels just to see if it would kick.
Oh wow. I wonder if they're probably going to get pissed off at me because mine are all open.
No, I'm thinking. No, I'm thinking just what it is because they probably removed permissions to see any of the other channels but your own.
Oh, okay.
I mean, my guess is to
Oh.
preserve
the,
mission's history.
Kind of like how it was
So-
at the start,
So
where
you can go
couldn't see
back and
anything.
you can go back and see all the users and see what it maybe if they had something or some kind of suggestion or something. That makes
Yeah.
sense. That
Yeah,
makes
because
sense.
there's
Still see
no
the pool party?
regular attendee humans in the user list anymore. It's
The-
just us.
The village like chats are still up. Like we can go jump into the village leads chat, have a good talk there.
Yeah, I noticed that Goopcat from IoT is chatting with Zant.
Yeah, they said they don't see anything, just the line con.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's good.
since we're live, I was going to mention that Defcon just ended their closing ceremony and mentioned next year is August 5th, I think, and it's just going to be in the smaller hotels. I think they're expecting a lower population than normal, which is reasonable to think about because if the vaccine comes out at the end of the year or beginning of next year, I mean, 3 million people is a lot of people to inoculate.
Yep.
And even people getting the flu, I mean, it takes 6 months for people to get all the flu shots, right? A regular
yeah.
flu shot.
It's
And then
taking me 2 years to get my flu shot.
Man, I hope we can have this in person. I mean, given all the circumstances, I'm really impressed though. I think that the DEFCON went really smoothly. I hope that we think that there was more participation because people were remote. I mean, we had people that were all over the world and yet they were still able to attend and still able to watch. And
No,
Yeah, it was
no, yeah,
helpful.
definitely. Because like, there's no way you could have hundreds of people in one training at once if it was in person. Literally, no.
No,
Yeah.
and some of the trainings we had 900 people, so it was pretty cool to see that streaming talks. But yeah, definitely. Well, one of the other things that we probably should mention is that the Red Team Village actually ran a couple of events before DEF CON because we wanted
Absolutely.
to get our hands dirty. We wanted to see, run into. You can plan all you want to, but until you have a real event with a real attendee saying, this doesn't work, I can't really see this, or there's a problem, does it actually become reality? So we ran an event in May. We've been on Discord, I think, since February or March. So we
See
were
what
on,
the-
and a lot of people like Omar's been on Discord for years. So our actual village, RTV, has been around for a while.
Yeah, this is my first time ever really being on Discord, and I'm really super impressed. I think that they, there's always, like I was mentioning on the Red Team Village earlier, there's always some jerk that sets off the fire alarm, when you're in a hotel. And I think that they might have had a little bit of problems occasionally with Discord on DEFCON side, but on the Red Team side, it was just silky smooth. And the way you could just tag users and set up bots. I mean, I'm impressed. They must have some great APIs to allow you to do these kinds of things and allow you to onboard people. And it was just amazing to me.
Yeah, we had one class that we had limited seats in, and I asked Omar, "Hey, can you throw a bot together real quick to do this for me?" And he's like, "What?" And this is like at 11 o'clock at night or something.
Oh yeah. Ended up being an hour late.
Yeah,
Or something like that.
So we could poll people so that we could make a list of people that wanted to get into the class. But
And you found that bot though, and I was like, all right, let me
Yeah.
read these docs real quick.
yeah, it worked out well.
I was looking here in the Red Team server, and the oldest message I can find is from April 18th.
April 18th.
Is it Hello World?
No,
I think we deleted a lot of early stuff of our
yeah, probably
our
because
banter.
it just says, "Yay, looking forward," blah 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 blah.
Oh, okay.
It's probably when we
It is.
announced we were doing Mayhem.
Yeah,
Probably.
It was our first
Probably,
virtual
yeah.
event test run.
Yeah, and Mayhem went great, I thought.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was
it
fun.
definitely did.
It was
Yeah, we
fun.
had great feedback, great engagement for our first virtual event.
Yeah, and then Omar Santos wanted to go ahead and do it like overnight. I was like, what is wrong with you?
That was a great
By the
experiment.
way,
It
if
was.
you guys don't know what we're talking about at Mayhem, all the videos are in the YouTube channel. So all the presentations. And I saw a couple of questions in here from people that have never been to DEFCON. So probably we should, based on our experience, probably go down. I guess the everybody here and share your experience. How did you get started in DEFCON? How many times have you been? What have you done?
Yeah, why don't we start with the Pandamar?
This is my first DEFCON. I've never been
wow.
to DEFCON before.
Wow.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Unique experience.
it is a unique experience, and I hope that we can do it in person. I'd love to be. Well, I don't really like Las Vegas, but I'd love to be in a place with a bunch of like-minded individuals and hang out and learn some cool stuff. But this was fine.
Yeah.
This is
All
really
right, your turn, OS. Santos.
Me. Okay. I was expecting that you will talk. No,
I talk
DEFCON.
entirely too much as it is, so
Yeah. My first DEFCON. Now you have to bear with me because I have like 4 hours of sleep in the last 4 days. But my first DEFCON was in '98. So however many back, I guess 22 years ago.
Yeah.
I was in the Marine Corps. And I was stationed in Torrance Palms, California, and I actually, drove with a whole bunch of other friends of mine. And my MOS was actually similar to Chris, right? So we work in a vault with no windows. And every time that you said, hey, we can go out and have fun in some type of conference that they call DEFCON, let's go. So we went.
That's awesome.
That was my best experience in my life. I mean, I just, came out of the vault of not seeing people, and now I'm interacting with a lot of people that actually now, for many, many years, I keep in touch with. Some of them, are the leaders of companies, and it's just an amazing community. I was actually telling somebody yesterday that for one of the presentations, I was actually literally getting sheets, like covers from beds to be able to actually put a projector, because they didn't even have that, right? So, and there were like 27 presentations only, and it was amazing, and it grew and it grew and it grew, and every year is like Christmas. I'm always looking forward to DEFCON every year.
So did you get spotted as a Fed?
No.
I
was young.
Yeah.
I was too young to be probably.
Probably didn't
Okay.
have a trench coat and a large brimmed hat and sunglasses on either, did you?
Yeah.
hey Chris, you want to go next?
My experience at DEFCON, I think I've only been like maybe 3 or 4 times, but I think the first time that I went was in Treasure Island. Might have been. This was before the Riviera.
Probably.
No, it was
No, it was the
in
Riviera.
Alexis. It was in Alexis.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Alexis Park, yeah.
Because I don't remember
It was in one other place before Alexis Park, but yeah, it was.
the hotel was just a complete dump.
Oh yeah, the Rio.
But-
that was a
Oh, the
POS.
Rio, yeah, the
Yeah.
Rio. But yeah, it was just, man, it's more about just every time I go to the DEFCON more than anything, I love the talks, but really to me it's more about meeting the people, and seeing everybody and talking to everybody, and that's CDocs, you probably saw me one of the first times. I was so enamored with the villages, and I mean I didn't go back. Once I was there, I was like, man, this is great. Being able to come in and just meet with people, and it was something else, because I never really, for me, I mean, we had a few, we have a little bit of hackers with the group that I'm in, but I just couldn't believe that there were so many in the world that were all so passionate about things.
Yeah, thank you. Oscar, you want to go next?
Sure. It's actually my first time, which is great because it's a historic event, being the first time DEF CON is actually canceled. So
Yeah.
being a part of that is great.
Did you get the shirt and the badge and all that stuff?
I got the badge, yeah, and I have the shirt on right now. This one.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I got the badge in the mail yesterday.
Just in time.
Yeah.
Hey, so I have a quick question about the background on Ascari over here. So you see how the red team village is a shield and the blue team village is a knife?
Wait a second.
Yeah, it's like complete opposite.
Backwards.
Yeah.
Were we being ironic?
Apparently.
I just wanted to point that out for anyone who missed that Easter egg. Let's continue.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
There you go. Is that better?
We love you, Blue Team. We do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Blue Team's awesome. Blue Team Village, way to go, guys. You did a great job this year.
they did. They're awesome. They have a great team. Their leaders are awesome. We get along with them perfectly fine. We do a lot of this banter stuff with them, and it's all in good fun. You know, red teams and blue teams have to work together. If anybody ever tells you that they don't work together, then they don't understand what red teams and blue teams do. So, did you have anything else you wanted to mention, Ascari?
No, not that I can think of right now.
Just your first time? Okay.
Yeah.
And Danielle?
So this is actually my fourth DEF CON. My first one was DEF CON 25. And I had been to conferences beforehand, Splunk or, Rapid 7 or whatever, just like more vendor specific conferences. So it was my first time going to like a real big conference that wasn't focused on anything in particular. And it was also my first conference by myself. All my previous conferences, I had gone with a coworker or, a family member had come just to take advantage of a trip or whatever. And to me, that was the most frightening aspect was flying into a city that I had been to before. I had been to Vegas, but I had no experience with the people or the hotels that I was walking into. And I could not have been more surprised at the welcoming environment that I got whenever I got there. Everyone was so nice and understanding that, I had never been there before. I was trying to find my way around. I was trying to figure out, where my interests were, trying to find a crowd to, go to parties with and stuff like that. And on a whim, I actually went to one of the QueerCon mixers, and I found a group of similar people who were first-time DEF CON attendees. They were just getting into information security, and we kind of formed an impromptu little posse and spent most of the weekend together after that, just sort of bouncing ideas off each other and having a really fun experience. So, don't be intimidated if you've never been before. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how warm and welcoming people are.
Yeah, as long as you can get away from Vegas, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I think that could be the really overwhelming part. But yeah, once you're inside DEF CON, it's great.
Yeah, no, and Danielle, you're right. I always give the advice if it's your first time to DEF CON, try to associate with a group of people that have similar interests as you, and hang out with them. Or find a village to volunteer for, or an event to volunteer for, and that way you automatically have some type of built-in connection there. But like you did, going by yourself and then finding your own group, that it's a little difficult doing that. But kudos to you for doing that.
Definitely, yeah, kudos.
Yeah. So next is Lauren.
So last year was my first year at DEF CON, and it was because we started the Red Team Village. CDocs, Omar, and Travis and I were all part of the main team, and Chris McCoy too, and Danielle, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. It's definitely a lot of hard work when you're running the village. You're exhausted the entire time. You don't know how your feet are going to hold you the next day, but they somehow do anyway. Yeah, I think one of the main things I would say is if you're going to volunteer for a village, be nice to the volunteer coordinators. I mean, they're doing the best they can. We're doing it for free. So giving sass isn't going to get you anywhere. Because I had that experience. Yeah.
That's actually a real life thing. Be nice to the people that are trying to help you out.
Yeah, we're doing this for free for the good of the community, so everybody can learn. We're doing this for you guys, so help us out and just be nice and appreciative, and things will go a lot further. Yeah. I thought it was really cool too. Everybody kind of was like, "Oh, DEF CON's weird. Everybody there's weird," but it's like in real life, who isn't weird?
Yes,
we all have our own type of weird, and DEF CON just kind of allows you to embrace like where you're at, like in your life, what type of weirdness you have, and you just rock that weirdness, and like no one gives you any shit for it. I mean,
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's awesome. That was like the best part. I mean, people accept everybody for who they are, where they are, how they are, and I thought that was like the most beautiful thing. So that was my favorite part of Defcon.
Yeah, and remember the advice I gave to you about if someone came up to you?
Oh yeah, so running joke. Before even DEFCON, he was sending to me all these other conferences to promote Texas Cyber, and he's like, if a dude comes up to you and he's too close or he's weird, say, "Whoa, dude, back off." So now we do that. And then another thing about DEFCON is some people think it's really funny not to shower, which I thought was disgusting. And yeah, I was that person for breezing people in our village. I didn't want to smell it. No shame. I didn't even spray the floor towards the third day. I was like, I'm just gonna straight up spray you, because
Sometimes.
But now it smells like Febreze and sweat. I don't know which one's
well,
what.
it wasn't as
that's even
bad
worse.
actually.
It's
It
sometimes
wasn't as
because
bad actually.
they haven't actually slept and they've been up for partying for 3 days or
Yeah, so they didn't shower.
Yeah.
And they
yeah, then
forget
we
that
had-
it's 105 degrees outside.
yeah. Please.
Yeah, we had
Probably
the hand
120
sanitizer
inside.
Yeah, 120. Yeah.
It's like
3 hours of sleep, 2
I'm
meals,
staying-
1 shower per day, mandatory. 3, 2, 1.
I'm
3
staying-
days straight.
I'm staying at the
meals,
Westin.
1 hour sleep afterwards.
I'm staying at the Westin. And I got to walk outside and go to the hotel or something.
Yeah,
Oh, I
a
know.
mile in the heat.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you don't realize how far it is, like from hotel to hotel in Vegas. That was like a total shock to me, because when you look at the map, you're like, oh, look at all these hotels, and they're all together, and like, no, no, they are not.
No.
Yeah, I
No.
thought that was kind of crazy how spread out it was too. Like when you're at the Flamingo and they're like, "Oh, we're going to Bally's," and I'm like, logistically, like, no, I don't want to do that. So I would say also, like, plan your days. Like, pick a few closer hotels together and do that one day, then pick a different few and then do that the next day. Don't be trying to go from like one end of the strip to the other end, because that's just not going to be fun for you.
Yeah, treat it like Disneyland.
Yeah, exactly. You got to have a strategy.
All right, Travis, you're next.
So I have attended 3, including this one. My very first one was I was basically off by myself. That was a weird year. I was still coworkers with Chris that time, but basically nobody else was going. A couple other people were going to Vegas, but they were out as soon as Black Hat was done. And so I was alone in Vegas and just trying to get my feet wet. And I ended up basically setting up camp in the IoT village and working on some 0 days, and then not working on 0 days because I was too busy helping other people like figure out how to bridge networks, because they knew how to hack, but they didn't know how to do like basic network bridging to get internet, and they didn't have internet working in there. Such as DEFCON.
Definitely.
And yeah, my second year, I went from like getting my feet wet to full immersion, I guess, because I spent the entire time either running the exploit dev station, the Red Team Village, or giving a talk, or being on the pager as the surprise backup speaker for anybody who
Nice.
possibly showed up late at DEF CON, because I had submitted a talk that had gotten accepted after all the slots were filled, because they lost my paper accidentally.
Ah,
Yeah, the first time
Accidentally, quote unquote.
No, they legit, like, I got the most like apologetic email of just like, this is terrible, can you send us that again? And then it must have gone through some like crazily rapid review board, because 2 days later it's like, yeah, we want you, but there's no slots left because we already gave them to everybody else. So would you be okay with being a backup speaker?
Did you get to speak?
I did get to speak, but not on the DEF CON main track. So I still got to give it. It was a pigeonhole of a talk. DNS fragmentation poisoning, and something that this year should be fixed. So maybe I'll revamp that talk and bring it back for next year, and then drop some exploit code for it, because at that point, if you didn't abide by DNS Flag Day 2020, you deserve to get your stuff broken.
So you found a 0 day 3 years ago and still not fixed?
Huh?
You mentioned that you're waiting for it to get fixed this year.
No, I found it. So I found it working for Cisco on a weird engagement, partially with OpenDNS. And you were aware of this one, Omar, because I had to sit down at a table with a couple of you guys from PCERT and like, okay, I'm gonna have to disclose this.
Well, first you also came to me and you said, "Hey, I got this thing with DNS fragmentation. You want to?" And I'm looking at like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I think that is. I think that's pretty bad.
It was you, or it was going to be you or one of the other CCIEs. And like, I want to just run this by somebody real quick, like from a network perspective of the extra protocols in play. Is this a thing that should be a reality? Because like this is just kind of a tweak on the existing stuff, and it's basically pulling from a couple of different sources and academic papers. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that was.
You had done it kind of, it was like an older thing that had been known about, but you had done like a tweak on it.
Yeah, a tweak on it from a really recent and largely tossed to the wayside academic paper where they figured out how to guess the sequence numbers for UDP packets based on just basically interrogating Linux machines. And it could be done with just a couple of pings back and forth and seeing what they would give back on.
It's amazing too. One of the things that I also love about this field is that there are so many vulnerabilities out there that you may think have, everybody is like, oh, DNS has been around forever, or such and such protocol has been around forever. There can't be any problems. And then you have somebody who just digs in and says, hey, this doesn't sound right. Let's go look, oh, what's this code here? Oh, this hasn't been looked at in 20 years. Oh man, this is really bad. Another thing also going back to like Defcon though, is that the first time I went to Defcon, I forgot to say, is that I was really intimidated. I don't know if you guys felt the same way, but like when you're walking down the halls and there's like, goons in kilts, and I mean, they look like they could really F you up, right? I mean, I just kind of kept to myself, and I didn't talk to very many people, and I really didn't enjoy myself. And, and even though you're, an introvert, just try, find somebody who is also like really intimidated. They're in a corner or something, and you may think that they don't want to talk to you, that just reach out to them and say something, and before you know it, you're like, oh yeah, we got some common interests. Oh yeah. Did you try this group or this team, this village?
I really like the look of your laptop.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like how your laptop turns on and turns off.
Your laptop is on.
Wait, yours boots?
Well, building on that, I mean, like how we design our village, Red Team Village, we have stations. I mean, you're sitting next to a bunch of people. You have like 2 people helping too. I mean, it's an environment you're meant to talk with other people, and hey, you're sitting next to someone that's also learning at the same part you are, and then you can become friends. It's an easier way to do it because you have like the common goal, common interest, and I think that really helps too. I think that's why I also like our village design. It really promotes like talking to other people. Even if you feel awkward, you have that one thing in common that's easy to just talk about.
Right. If you get stuck and you say, hey, I'm stuck here, and somebody on one side or on the other side may say, oh, hey, this is what I did, and then help you out. So you're not waiting for the instructor to get with you. But yeah, you're right. It's conducive definitely for socialization for people with common interests.
Definitely. Hey, I want to give a quick shout out and kudos to Lauren for basically wrangling all of the volunteers and making sure they are where they go.
It was like herding cats.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations, Lauren. That you did a great job with that.
Thank you.
Your name is fitting. Definitely. Your name is fitting too. Time Turner, you're keeper of the times.
That's
yes,
right.
And then following up with the people that said they were going to volunteer and didn't show up.
Yeah, I had to kick a bunch of volunteer roles, and I surprisingly didn't get messages saying, why did my volunteer role get kicked? I thought for sure someone would have been like, where's my volunteer role? But it's
you know what you did.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those like school teacher things, like you know what you did or didn't do.
Yeah.
But I mean, we couldn't do it without the volunteers, so I appreciate all the ones that did show up. A bunch of them worked really hard. A bunch of attendees kind of stepped up into that volunteer role.
Yeah.
A bunch of the volunteers. A bunch of them were also like, I'm here. earlier. Can I still start helping?
Yeah, exactly.
Why,
I'm never
yes.
going to say no to that. I'm like, yes, thank you. More power to you. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
And
That's
a
what
lot of
happened to me
people
last
signed up
year.
for extra shifts. Yes, exactly. That's how Daniel is now on here.
That's how I
So,
came on too. After
That's
Mayhem.
how we recruit you guys.
After Mayhem, Joseph was just like, "Hey, you want to help?"
Little
I
did
spent
you
one
know.
shift and then came back the whole
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah, that's what happened to Johnny C2. If you guys saw him on our Discord, he was in Mayhem and Jungle,
Oh, yeah.
just hanging out, answering questions, and we're like, "Hey, do you want to volunteer?" And then
Johnny C is like
got
from
involved
Brazil or
too.
something, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's in Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and he was just hanging out, and they're like, "Hey, you want to come back?"
And we had a
Kudos for that noob team he started. That was great.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was really cool. Like,
Yeah.
way to go,
Yeah.
Johnny C. You're amazing.
Yeah, he created a noob CTF group. That was awesome.
That was
Yeah.
the Capture the Learning group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
capture the
Capture the
learning.
learning.
He came up with that idea
That was
within the
so
first
amazing.
few hours of us starting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
It was like, "Hey, can we have a channel for this?" And I was just like, "Of course, it's great."
I
Yeah.
thought it was pre-planned,
Yeah.
and then I looked at the message history. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure.
That's how we do things at the Red Team.
That's
what
right.
an
Yeah,
amazing
we
point
pivot.
that we had.
It's improv. We're doing a live demo.
like this whole hangout here.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah,
have
this
people
was
from
not planned.
Go ahead, Omar. What were you saying?
No, that we have a lot of people from Brazil that are also within the same DEFCON group that's Johnny C.
Oh yeah, that
we were actually
550 or
helping
something like
amazingly.
that.
They were helping amazingly. We also had a community from India called the Jazz group, and they helped on Mayhem and Jungle and in this event too. So
Yeah,
Thank
he
you.
was-
Marin was awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, he
Red
was.
Team Villages worldwide.
That's right. Yeah,
We definitely are. Yeah.
Anywhere the internet can reach.
Yeah. Someone asked about
Going to the moon.
next year. I did mention that it's going to be back at the Flamingo Bally's Paris again, and it's because they're expecting lower than average attendance. So they are not moving to the Forum. Maybe in a couple years it'll move back. I think next year all events are going to, if they're going to be in person, they're probably going to be limited to a certain number of people to attend. So I will tell everybody now that's waiting. I've been probably to 25 years to DEF CON. I always tell people I grew up at DEF CON. I remember going and sitting in, this was when it was in Alexis. They had these hallways and everybody was set up in the hallways. And then in the middle was like the cafeteria and stuff. And that's where a group of us kind of got together and loosely started the Wall of Sheep with paper plates and stuff, because we're all like doing the same thing, like sniffing the wireless network and seeing people log into stuff, and it was like, what is wrong with these people? So,
Yeah,
25 years. I think Alexis was the first hotel I went to, and I've gone every year ever since. My plan really was not to go last year. I had already resided to, it was going to be the first time that I didn't go to DEF CON. And the reason was because I was part of another village, founding another village, and I had some disagreements, and I didn't want that to kind of affect how the village operated. So I thought, me not going, it keeps everybody kind of, status quo, keeping things moving. But the opportunity came up to start this village, the Red Team Village, and I was like, sure, why not? And the other thing was I didn't want to interfere with that village, so I didn't talk to any of those volunteers. We basically had to start the Red Team Village from the ground up with a whole bunch of people that I knew but I hadn't worked with before in that capacity. And last year it just came together so well. I mean, Travis ran the exploit development amazingly. Omar brought in the Websploit hands-on workshop. We had an attack range that was set up. We had the CDC there running as well, and we had our Red Team 101 track. So the 101 track really came from my discussions with Jeff from DEF CON. He was like, let's talk about what the Red Team Village is going to do and how it's going to help the community. And that 101 was like, we've got to level set people, because people have a lot of misunderstanding about what a red team does. And sure enough, it worked out great. Everybody loved doing the 101 because it brought everybody up to understanding really, and it was helpful for them at that point, because then when they went to the next station, which was Omar's station, they were actually like, okay, now I know why I'm learning this, and what the goal of being in the red team is. So I thought it worked out pretty well. So and everybody that's on here that was part of it last year really is what made it a great event to run in person. And we'll get back to running it at DEFCON again, either next year or the year after. So thanks everybody.
So what did the prep time look like on last year versus this year?
The prep time,
like a month.
We got approval in May, right? I think it was the first part of May.
Yeah, I think it was 6 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Came up with everything.
Yeah,
it was pretty quick.
I could not tell. Y'all killed it last year. I was happy to be there, but yeah, it was an awesome opportunity.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was just about to say
a rapid deployment down the grapevine, because I got shoulder tapped by Chris, who got shoulder tapped by somebody else. Who, yeah,
I couldn't believe how many people were in that little room.
It's so crowded.
That was crazy.
Well, in a line going out like down the hall and snaking around. Yeah, it's like
all the way to the bathroom.
No.
You're like, we got a line to the bathroom.
Yeah, if Ron was on here, he would tell you a story about Lauren and the blue team, because the blue team came and put some stickers on some of our signs.
Don't mess with me.
And Lauren chased him down the hallway. He thought it was kind of a joke, and he turned around and he saw her, and he ran like full speed so she couldn't catch up with him.
I almost caught him, but he ran into two people and knocked them down, and I didn't want to be a jerk and run over those two people also.
Yeah.
So that's how he lost me.
Turns out it was actually tactical. They were there planted so they could trip and fall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
I
were part of the blue team.
No, that guy was like, oh shit, I can't believe this person's still following me.
That's hilarious.
It was.
Got my cardio for that day for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, Joseph and Omar and Lauren, I mean, major kudos for you guys organizing this and putting it together and gathering everyone together and making this happen. I mean, this would not have happened if it weren't for the initiative, the drive, the direction, the leadership, all of that from you all. So it's been an honor working with you all on this, and I'm looking forward to continuing that. Thank you all so much for this.
Thank you. I look at myself as more of the, the orchestrator, the dude in front of the orchestra. What the hell?
Conductor.
Yeah, I look at myself as more of a conductor than anything, because again, without like the expertise of Chris and the expertise of Travis and Omar and Danielle and Ascari and Lauren, this wouldn't happen. It is really a team thing. Everybody is responsible. Like last year, it wasn't, we weren't having to nag anybody to do anything. Everybody knew what their task was. They did all of the stuff that was around the task that they needed to do. And when we came together, it came together very smoothly. So it was an awesome experience all the way around.
Yeah, our main thing is to make sure everybody who's running a station is doing what they love to do. And they take charge of that, and they own that, and they run with it. They get to do what they want to do with it, and they have creative power over it. And that just is what makes it what it is. It makes it so great. I mean, Travis ran with his, and it was awesome the first year, and it was great this year too.
It was. Thanks everybody for what you do.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. I mean, that's what this is. We're all here to help each other out.
Yep, exactly. And learn from each other.
Maybe have some fun along the way too.
Oh yeah.
No.
You're supposed to have fun.
Fidget Spinner will get mad at you for saying no fun.
Yeah.
It feels a little bit painful during the conference.
During the event, yeah. Last year we were like, okay, everybody needs to take some time from themselves and then when it came down to it, nobody took any time. everybody was
we had a food runner for us to make sure that we ate every day. And aside from food allergies, it was like you eat what she brings you and you're happy about it. So it was good to have that volunteer that was willing to do that for us. And that kind of shows the hard work that we had to put in for the first year, where you pretty much get the bathroom breaks and you're hiding behind that little wall eating your lunch, or me on the floor of the info booth hoping no one asks a question while I'm eating a sandwich. So
that was great to go back behind the little curtain, and it was just like a slew of bags and boxes, and then like 3 or 4 people holding waters or drinks, just like with 1,000-yard stares. Just like quiet, you know.
Don't talk to me.
This is my 5-minute. It's my 5-minute break for the day.
Yeah.
That's funny. Hey, speaking of stuff you can buy, like sandwiches, someone was asking earlier where they could get swag for the Red Team Village. And I really want to reiterate, all the money that we're raising with the swag that we're selling is going to go to our community partners, Morgan's Wonderland and the Innocent Lives Foundation. Joseph or Omar, do you guys want to talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. Well, Omar knows the websites better. I mean, he was the one that asked me to set them up, and I think Savannah set up the other one, but one of them's on Teespring and the other one's on some Custom Ink or something like that.
Ink. We have the one that Savannah created in the homepage. So if you go to redteamvillage.io, you should be able to click from there.
There's a button all the way in the top right-hand side that says swag.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, Morgan's Wonderland is it's a kind of amusement park for special needs people. It's the only one around. People from all over the world have gone. I think, what do they say? Like 13 different continents have...
27
27.
Countries. Yeah.
I know it was like a lot. 27 countries have visited there. So
there's only 7 continents.
Well, I thought it was all of them, Omar.
Yeah, all 52 of them.
Even the penguins.
States of America.
Even the penguins from Antarctica.
Yeah, so Morgan, like Lauren said, Morgan's Wonderland is awesome. It is a one-of-a-kind theme park. It's specially developed and built for special access and special needs. They do an amazing job. They're closed the rest of this year, but we're still donating the money that we receive from any of the swag sales to them. So please feel free to give money. Innocent Lives Foundation deals with human trafficking of minors, and I've been supporting them since 2018 with Texas Cyber Summit. So it's also another great charity. So consider donating to them on your own behalf if you want to. They're great organizations.
Definitely. So yeah, if you'd like to have a little bit of a memory of this and support 2 really good causes, I mean, definitely go to redteamvillage.io and then go ahead and click on swag way at the top right of your browser and enjoy. Oh, that's right, because it's reversed. So over here.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. Awesome.
Omar, are you about ready to fall over? Omar sent us.
Yeah. So Omar, we're going to wrap this up. I want to give everybody a minute to do some closing remarks, and then we're going to say goodnight to everybody. Thank you for joining us. I know you guys probably are as exhausted as we are doing all this crazy stuff at virtual Defcon, but thanks for joining us. Oscar, you want to go first?
Sure, I guess.
Any closing remarks?
It's been fun. I'm not tired. I don't do this exhausted thing. It's not what I do. I just keep going.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to helping more later, eventually, when the next time comes.
Yeah, in October we have an event.
Yeah.
So. And that one's going to be pretty interesting because what we're doing is half of the tickets immediately, the ticket price is immediately going to Morgan's Wonderland and Innocent Lives Foundation. And then at the end of the conference, after operational expenses, all of that, the rest of that's going to go to our charities. So So Danielle, you're next.
I have had a blast this weekend. I knew it was going to be a lot of fun, but I just didn't know it was going to be this much fun. I was glued to my seat the entire weekend. I crashed out, for about 5 hours a night. But, once I got the hang of flipping around Discord, you were laughing at how quickly me and Oscari were bouncing around. I've used Discord before, but I'm not like a pro at it or anything. So I've learned a lot myself over this weekend, just doing the mod role. And I've met so many cool people. I'm going to have to figure out where my niche is when we're back in person, since I'm doing this so much now.
You're going to walk around with a big hammer.
Yeah. But anyway, I've just had a blast. This has been a lot of fun.
Yep. Thank you. Omar Pandamar.
It is so hard. I am one of like 5 Omars in my family. My grandfather, my father, it's me, then I had an uncle, and then my little brother. Like all of us are named Omar. And the main difference is I am Omar Linardo, and then like everyone has a different middle name, but Pandamar is fine. I think Omar Santos deserves to be called Omar because he's really clever with the actually Om symbol.
Yeah.
And then the R. But yeah, I mean, in terms of like final thoughts here, here's my final thoughts.
And he does that look.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I find really interesting about Defcon and conferences like this, like the Texas Cyber Summit's coming on later this year, is that we've as a community, we have created an environment where it is safe to be new, it is safe to learn, it is safe to teach, and it's safe to grow. And I think for people that are trying to get into this for the first time, or they want to kind of endeavor to make a change in their life, definitely be a part of the community. Don't be afraid to be yourself. And there will be people out there that will approach you and they'll open their arms to you and say like, I'm here and I'm welcome you here and you're right. And I'll help you get to where you're trying to go. I'm not necessarily like point in the right direction, or I'm not necessarily going to tell you every step of the way, but I'm at least going to help guide you to where you can get to the next thing to help you grow in your career and as a person. So it is my first DEFCON here, and my first DEFCON here, I am a volunteer, and I'm just so grateful for that opportunity to be a part of this, to experience that type of culture and that type of community. And I think we'd all be better off with more of that around us. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, thank you. Travis, you're next. I'm saving Omar for last.
Poor Omar, who's babysitting the streaming computers. No, I had a lot of fun. I kind of secretly wanted to be virtual again next year because it was so oh my goodness, it was so nice to just front load all of the work and not have to be stressed out during the actual con itself doing stuff, because everybody, like, you put a couple of things pinned up in chat and people just interact with the bot and you're just done.
People don't read the pins. People never read the pins though.
You see, you say that except for when your channel is full entirely with just people doing bang commands.
Oh yeah,
bot,
yeah.
And the bot responding to them. People are like, oh, I think I'm supposed to do something, and like they do like bang materials, and the bot DMs them, and they're like,
I guess you're lucky because no one reads my pins. I'll pin a message, and then everyone, the next 10 hours, people are asking that same question. I'm like, it's pinned.
I'm kind of wondering if we should come up with a standard bot, at least bot commands
for every
because
for every
everybody,
channel.
Because somebody was trying your channel and
it
was like, hey, this is awesome. Let's go to the other one. Bang.
Went on to station 4 and then nothing happened. And, like,
and the people that kept doing the sign up for the kill chain, and they were like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
24 hours later, people were still like, sign up. It's ended.
Sign up bot. Oh my.
I was kind of wondering, it's like, can we make this channel read only for a little bit?
Can we stop this bot from
we killed the bot. We did
it.
Yeah, like a long time after it had ended.
Yeah. Thanks for doing your job, bot. Time to go.
Yeah. Anything else, Travis?
No, it was. I had a blast. This was a lot more fun than last year, which is good because I'm glad we were able to do more with more time planned ahead. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness, that was
I'm
ridiculous.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that any years going forward, every conference is going to have a virtual component, no matter what. So we'll see how it goes. So Lauren, you're next.
Okay, so I ran the info booth and did the volunteers, and I was gonna say for new people, there's no such thing as a stupid question, but if it's in the FAQs, it's pretty close.
There's only dumb answers to your stupid question.
Yeah, exactly.
There's only the only answer is FAQ.
Yeah,
Panda knows that well.
Oh, I do. I know that so well.
Yeah. No, but in all honesty, I had a lot of fun helping people in the info booth and helping our volunteers out. Really appreciate hearing people's feedback as volunteers, how much they enjoy being a part of it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I also enjoyed like our staff chats. Anytime we all kind of felt a little disconnected or needed to talk to someone, we would just kind of throw a bunch of GIFs up and start some convos, and that was a lot of fun too.
We didn't throw peanut butter up there.
Oh.
Jeff, yeah.
It's
Got
Jeff.
She's
Okay.
about to start a war. Just shut down the stream.
Don't forget, I can time travel.
Oh, I hear
Oh
some
god.
static. Okay, Chris, you're next.
I'm a little bit sad I didn't have a network to run this year. We didn't have to, we didn't have to protect ourselves from somebody ARP cache poisoning.
I could spin up
Oh,
some more
I'm-
difficult infrastructure and have you manage that, Chris, if you're up.
But
Yeah.
I'm also glad that I didn't have to carry a portable, 3 rack unit rack through the airport.
Oh yeah.
My servers in it too, because that was a dumb idea. I'm not doing that again.
Hey, at least you didn't have to drive 19 hours with the.
Oh my gosh!
full
Oh yeah,
stuff.
and then we had to go downstairs, and sneak the alcohol through the hotel.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
If someone did, we didn't know about that.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Yes. But
No, last
I had
year we drove, like Lauren mentioned, 19 hours. We didn't fly. We actually drove all the equipment to Vegas.
I mean, Texas isn't that far away. It's better than the East Coast to Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's only like the distance from one side of Texas
Is
to the other
it
twice,
though?
right?
I was
Yeah.
gonna say it takes like a day to get out of Texas.
Yeah,
It does.
half of the drive from
Yeah.
Texas to California, you're still in Texas. Literally half of it.
Yeah. Everything else in between is just like a waste of time.
Okay, back to you, Chris.
But
Yeah.
I think, I just like thank everybody. I thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Omar. Thank you, Omar. Thank you, everybody, because I had an absolute blast and can't wait for next year.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, and last but not least, our guru of video, our streaming wizard, and our graphical.
Who made everybody else, all the other villages, everybody look bad.
Yes.
This is how professional everything was.
I definitely cannot take that because I screwed up so many times. The thing is that you probably were sleeping whenever I screwed up. I played the wrong video once. It was chaos. By far, the first thing that I want to say is thank you, the community, because without you, we didn't have we don't have a village, right? So the other thing is that kind of behind the scenes, Joseph and I, we were talking. So you prepared for Defcon, like Chris mentioned, your network. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna protect yourself? What type of devices are you gonna bring, and everything else? Here we're dependent on some cloud-based services that may or may not work. I had even a freaking earthquake last night or this morning.
Hurricanes,
the
earthquakes.
didn't go down.
Yeah.
Yeah, the internet didn't go down. So, I had UPSs in here. I have 2. I paid from freaking Google Fiber and AT&T to have 2 connections out doing equal cost load balancing and everything else, but I didn't even need it. So I was not expecting. I was already expecting that something bad would happen. And then the other thing that Joseph and I were talking is like, we said, Discord is gonna get hacked like in 2 seconds.
Discord was more stable than I expected.
And
It definitely
it was
was.
a lot more stable. So kudos if you're listening to us, Discord. Kudos.
Yeah, great
Good
job
job.
on
Yeah.
Good job.
We love you, Discord.
Good job.
Yeah.
Fire
We
up
may
the
say
fire
Discord
alarm.
shit, but you know.
Yeah, and thanks for making our server a community server. That was also
Yeah.
helpful.
That was great. Thank you, Discord.
I like that.
Now, can you verify us, please?
Yes, please verify us. Anything else, Omar?
No, and thank you a million times, and keep in touch. We're not closing the Discord server. As a matter of fact, we're probably gonna expand it anyways. We're gonna try to learn our botting around and announcements around and everything. So just keep in touch. Absolutely.
Yeah, and always check our website. Everything that we're doing is published on the website. Anything that we get involved in, whether it's Defcon or some other event, will always be on the website. We try to tell everybody, go to our website first if you have a question. We try to put everything that'll answer any question you have on the website. But yeah, thanks, Omar, for OS, for everything you've done. You've made us look really good, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I'm done. I have nothing to say. I know it's unusual, but thanks everybody. Thanks community. We'll see you guys at the next event. So keep your eye on our website and our Twitter, and you'll know what we're doing next.
Yeah.
So ciao.